Welcome to the Infinite Campus for Elementary teacher video on setup, navigation, and taking attendance. Student names used here are not actual JCPS students. The names of students are set up for training purposes only.
We will begin by turning the new look on. To turn the new look on, users will navigate to the head and shoulders in the top right corner and switch the Try New Look toggle from off to on. On the top left panel, the hamburger icon will allow users to open and close the three tabs to the left. We will now navigate to the first tab on the left panel. If users see a plus and minus, that indicates that the screen resolution is too large for the additional options to display to the right. Users can use the Control- keyboard shortcut to change it from displaying up and down to the right side. Now we have the option to display additional options to the right. Users can toggle back and forth between those two views by clicking on this button. The first tab, which is called the main menu, shows all tools users have access to. For example, under Instruction, teachers will see the Teaching Center, roster, gradebook, attendance, and more. Under Student Information, users will see student information tools such as grades, schedule, PLP contact log, and more. The next tab is the Favorites tab. The Favorites tab shows any tool users have identified as a favorite by clicking on the star. If the star is hollow, it is not marked as a favorite. When you mark it as a favorite, it is filled in with blue and added to the Favorites panel. As we can see, Teaching Center has been added to the bottom of the Favorites panel. The third tab is Recent Tools, similar to your browsing history. It shows any tools the user has visited recently in the last few days. You can easily select any tool from the Recent Tools area and mark it as a favorite if not already identified as a favorite. We can see that grades has already been identified as a favorite. On the Favorites panel, users can rearrange the favorites as necessary. Here, we will select Edit, and we will move Teaching Center to the top, and then Message Center just underneath. We will also remove seating charts from the favorites. By doing that, we will select Save to save our new order, and then select Seating Charts, and click on the star to remove it from the Favorites panel. In selecting any item from the Student Information area, users are prompted to select a student. We will select Open Student Search, and we are redirected to the Search panel. Clicking the Search button will pull up all students we have access to. Additionally, users can search by typing in last name, first name, or just initials. Here, we will search for B, H, and that pulls up all students whose last name begin with B and first name begins with H. Users may also put in a comma and search by first name or search by student number. We will now select Hannah and navigate to her Schedule tab. When navigating to any tool, users will also see breadcrumbs in the top right corner to follow the path back to origination. Here we will see that Schedule is within General, and General is within Student Information. We will now select the Grades tab and view the Grades tab for Hannah. When navigating to any tool in the right corner, users will see an option for Related Tools, where users can then see other tools in that same tool set. If users are not sure where a tool is located, the tool search can be utilized. We will switch it from Student to Tool, and now we will search for seating charts. Now that we have located seating charts, we can then mark it as a favorite and add it to our Favorites panel. Another example might be searching for a contact log. We will enter contact and hit search, and then all available contact logs display. Remember, To quickly jump back to the Teaching Center, if not marked as a favorite, users can click on the Infinite Campus logo in the top left. We will now discuss some Teaching Center options. The first option is to turn on the Enable Classroom Navigation toggle. This does not remove any features, but groups tools a little different and hyperlinks the class name on each page. This can be turned off at any time from the Teaching Center. The next is a fun feature in the Teaching Center where teachers can rename the class as it appears in each box and give it a new icon. We will begin with the first class. We'll click on the Settings button. The Settings button opens and the first thing we can do is rename the class. We'll call this Period 2 Civics Honor. Next, we will enable student questions. Enabling student questions allows students to ask questions from within the student portal and for teachers to answer them from within their class. The next thing we'll do is choose a different icon. Teachers can select from any of the available icons listed here. In this case, we will select this icon here, and we will scroll down and choose the color green and click Save. Now you can see that this first box has been updated to Period 2 Civics Honor, and it has a green icon. We'll repeat this process again for the next class. We're going to click on the Settings button. We will enable student questions. We will choose a different icon, and we will make this one blue. We're going to call this one Period 3 Civics and click Save. It's important to know that students will not see whatever you have renamed the section when they log on to the portal, and this does not affect Google Classroom in any way. For more information about the options in the Teaching Center, please click the question mark in the top right corner for a great video on the Teaching Center that Infinite Campus created. Elementary schools only take attendance once a day. Students are never marked tardy. If a student isn't in first period at the start of class, he or she should be marked absent. The attendance clerk will then process the attendance accordingly. We will begin the attendance process by clicking on the head and shoulders with the red dot under Period 1. Our class displays to the right. Allison and Zoe are not in class today, so we will proceed by marking them absent and clicking Save. Next, we will hit Close. The red dot now switches to a check, indicating that attendance has been taken. Additionally, teachers can navigate to Instruction, Attendance, to take attendance. Both screens mirror each other. You can think of it as a different door to the same room. Remember, you can always return to the Teaching Center by clicking on Instruction, Teaching Center, or by clicking on it from your Favorites panel, which is the tab on the left with the star, if you have marked it as a favorite. We'll see here my Teaching Center is now marked as a favorite, or by clicking on the Infinite Campus logo in the top left. That part is not pictured in this video. This tool allows teachers to hide drop students, check options to show student pictures in various tools, activate pass-fail assignment and score coloring, and more. Let's get started. To navigate to Instruction Settings, click on the head and shoulder in the top right corner, and then select Instruction Settings. The first box, Show Active Students Only, when checked, will hide any students that have been dropped from this section. If this is not checked, dropped students will still display in red. Checking this box also prevents teachers from accidentally populating grades for dropped students when using the Fill tool. It can be unchecked anytime the teachers need to view dropped students and their grades. Teachers can check the box next to Show Student Number to view the JCPS student number next to their name in screens such as roster. Teachers can check the Show Student Picture box to view student pictures in roster, gradebook, seating chart, and more. If teachers build a seating chart and do not have this checked, pictures will not display on the seating chart. Use Seating Chart for Attendance allows teachers the option to use a seating chart when taking attendance for a class. Teachers can always switch between the seating chart option and list at any time. When Use Canned Comments is selected, teachers can choose from existing comments loaded into Infinite Campus when entering report card grades to customize and apply to students' posted grades. On the middle and high school level, this can be applied to any grading task where a grade is applied. On the elementary level, it would be applied to only areas of strength or growth, with the exception of the 4 traditional schools. The Show Pass-Fail coloring options colors passing grades in green and failing grades in red. The mute option is available for colorblind users and may help view the colors more clearly. Always click Save when making any updates to this screen. Grade Calc options define how grades appear and calculate in the teacher's gradebook. Pass-fail coloring and category calculation will not apply if grade calc options are not set up. Grade calc options identify the grading scale or rubric used that determines how grades are calculated or appear based on assignments entered in Infinite Campus. In this video, we'll cover how to verify these are set up correctly. While they are usually pushed down from the district level, last-minute schedule changes on the school level may be processed after this has been set up and require setup on the teacher level. Once this is set up, there is no additional changes necessary by teachers for the rest of the school year. Let's get started. We will begin by navigating to Instruction on the left panel. From Instruction, we will select Gradebook. To access Grade Calc options, we'll click on the arrow next to Settings. If grade calc options are not set up, the center part of the gradebook will not show in-progress grades even though assignment grades have been entered. Please note that grades kindergarten through 3rd grade and special area use an ungraded primary scale, so if letter grades such as O, S, NI, or U are entered, the in-progress grade won't calculate even if grade calc options are set up unless proficiency estimates are set up. This video does not include setting up proficiency estimates. Next, we will click on Grade Calc Options. Although each standard for each term could be set up individually, we will use the Fill options to set everything up at once. Each class will have different standards. For example, reading will have both reading and writing, math will have only math, and so forth. Special area classes usually have a generic standard set up, such as the word grade. Regardless of the standards, the Fill Options button is the quickest process. Leave the task drop-down set to all so that all standards are selected. Under Fill Calculation Type, we will select In Progress Grade. It is imperative that the correct grading scale is selected from this drop-down. The grading scales with the ELTS at the beginning are only used at 4 traditional elementary schools. This includes Gray House, Carter, Schaffner, and Audubon. EL Primary is used for grades kindergarten through 3rd grade and all special areas. EL Intermediate is used for grades 4 and 5 core content. Since we are setting this up for 5th grade reading in this example, we will now select EL Intermediate. Next, we will select Weight Categories. This ensures that all assignments entered into the gradebook are calculated based on the weight of the student mastery category, which is 100%. The last step is to click the OK button in the lower right corner so that all modifications to grade calc options are saved. Next, we will review our grade calculation options for all of our standards and then click Save to continue and move to the next class. Note that now the pass-fail coloring of green and red displays for all students, and the center area of the gradebook calculates based on the assignment scores entered. This concludes the video on verifying that all of your grade calculation options are set up appropriately at the beginning of the year. It is a good idea to verify this in all of your classes. Don't forget, once you're set up, you are set up for the entire year.
Categories are folders in Infinite Campus that hold assignments and where weighting is applied. If the student mastery category is not attached to a class, teachers cannot add assignments to the class. If weighting is not correct, grades will not calculate correctly. This video walks through locating and understanding the Assessing Learning and Grading Framework, or ALGF, and verifying data is correct in Infinite Campus. First, we will navigate to the ALGF. To navigate to the ALGF, we'll click on Students and Families. Next, we will select Handbooks and Frameworks. From there, we will click on the arrow to expand the Assessing Learning and Grading Frameworks category. Each framework document has different information, so teachers that teach multiple levels will need to review the appropriate frameworks. Here, we will select Elementary. Although teachers should review the entire ALGF, pages 7 and 8 specifically outline the Mastery category in Infinite Campus, where assignments should be stored. All assignments will go into the Mastery category. Additionally, as outlined here and on page 8 of the ALGF, no one assignment can count for more than 20% of the entire Mastery category. To verify the categories are set up properly and make any necessary changes, we will navigate to Instruction and then select Gradebook. To access categories from the gradebook, we will need to expand Settings. From Settings, we will now select Categories. Elementary schools only use Student Mastery. No other categories should display except uncategorized assignments, which display only when users are using GradeSync to send assignments from Google Classroom to Infinite Campus. We will now click on Student Mastery. Student Mastery should be attached to every section except Homeroom, since assignments are not added to Homeroom. It is not necessary, however, to detach it from Homeroom at this time. If it is missing from any sections as shown in this example, we will click the top box under Section to add it to all sections. Student Mastery has been applied to all sections. Now we will take a look at the weight. The weight should be 100. In most cases, teachers should not have to make any edits. In this example, we will change them all to 100 by putting 100 in the top column. All sections have been selected and the weight has been appropriately updated to 100. Since there is only one category, sequence does not have to be modified, but can be changed to 1, so that if using Google Classroom to GradeSync, the uncategorized can be modified to 2. We will not exclude this from calculation because Mastery contains assignments determining the student's academic grade. Users may select Drop Lowest Score as necessary. If that function is used, it will drop by percentage and not points. So if one student's lowest grade is on a 10-point assignment and another is on a 50-point assignment, the students will end up with a different amount of points possible in the class. Next, we will discuss the default scoring type. The default scoring type allows users to either choose rubric and utilize letter grades for assignments, or change to points and edit the default points from 100 to another value if not scoring assignments at 100 points. We will demonstrate that by changing the default scoring type to points. Default scoring type has been modified to points. In this class example, we will edit the default points to 10 so that every new assignment will default to 10 points instead of 100, but can be edited on an individual assignment basis. Please keep in mind that in most cases, the categories will be attached to all classes and the weight will be correct. Additionally, you may not need to edit the default scoring type or points. We showed this as an example in the class in case teachers should decide to modify it. Now that we've updated the settings for Student Mastery to be correct for our classes, we will click Save.